All right. It is time to begin. Welcome to Breathwork 614's free breathwork session and special certification night. As those that plan on attending trickle in, I have a song for you that I'd actually like to begin with. So just encourage you to take a moment and allow yourself just to receive this song and just kind of let the day go that you've had thus far.
Yeah, the hangar, Sunbury, yeah, flying the plane, flying out. Don't you go to war with yourself. I heard it come through the rain.
You're welcome to dance, to move if you'd
Don't you
like.
go to war with yourself.
Just gently close your
How you
eyes.
gonna hold all
Repeat
that
the words, the lyrics
pain?
in the song.
Oh, no. Let go, let go, let go. Put all of it out of your mind. I know you know we know. It's time to put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down, put down, put down now. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down, put down, put down, down. Don't you go to war with yourself. It don't look good on you. Don't you go to war with yourself. You got other things to do now. Let go, let go, let go of everything holding you down. I know you know we know the time is now. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down, put down, put down now. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down, put down, put down now. You better lay down your arms. You better lay down your feet. Don't you do yourself at home. Don't you cry yourself those tears. No fear. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Yeah. Put down, put it down, down, down. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put it down, down. Put down what you are carrying. Yeah. Put down, put down, put down, down. Put down what you are carrying. Yeah. Put down what you are carrying. Put it down. Put down what you are carrying. Put it down, put it down, down. Put it down. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put it down, down. Put down what you are carrying. Put down, put down, put down, down. Put down what you are carrying. Put it down, down, down. Put down what you are carrying. Put it down, down. Put down what you are carrying. Put down, put down, put down, down. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down, put down, put down, down. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying. Put down what you are carrying.
All right. I welcome you to do what Trevor Hall suggests. This evening, I welcome you to put down whatever it is you're carrying and allow your breath to be the gentle guide to releasing it. Welcome to those on Facebook. Welcome to those here live with me on Zoom. Welcome to Breathwork 614's free breathwork session and special certification info night. I am grateful for your interest in the Trauma-Informed Breathwork Facilitator certification program. This session, is designed to give you a taste of some of the components included in the certificate training. Myself, my clients, and my students, they believe that you don't just learn breathwork, but rather you become it. Breathwork offers you the opportunity to become embodied and fully integrated, thus receiving lasting transformation. So if you're here with me tonight live, I highly encourage you to put your cameras on. If you're on Facebook and you want to see the slides, the presentation, go ahead and join us in the link provided. It's linked, it's featured up there. All you got to do is click on it and you'll come on into the Zoom room with us. Tonight's session is meant to be interactive and informal. I will send out a replay. So if you are one that's going to be catching this on replay, please be sure to follow along as the session was created to be interactive. So, as we head into our time together, I encourage you to pause and to slow down your day thus far. And I encourage your participation in tonight's session to just be here, be very present with what it is you're experiencing. You showing up tonight is worthy of celebration. So I would welcome you to, if you have a pen, a paper, something available to you, go ahead and celebrate yourself for showing up tonight. It not only shows that you prioritize your well-being with breath work, but it also shows that you deeply care about those that you are in community with and those you serve. So if you're just jumping on, we're just spending a moment and celebrating ourselves for showing up for ourselves, for prioritizing our well-being, and prioritizing those that we serve. So you might write that down, or sometimes we give ourselves a pat on the back, whatever speaks to you. So, breath work is the vehicle that gets you out of the mind and into your body. Your breath is connected to your nervous system, so you have the opportunity to really make some profound shifts in your body and in your energy and in your reality with breath work. So, celebrating yourself does not just it's not just something that we do here in the breathwork world just to do it. It leads to self-compassion. And in fact, when you put pen to paper or you give yourself that pat on the back, it increases your ability to remain in motion of interacting, of embodying the thought by 8%. And I like to sum this up with clients by saying, where attention goes, energy flows. So you're really creating and strengthening new neural pathways and encouraging yourself to believe and live out this thought here. So I'll give you a second to do that. Awesome. I just love self-celebration. Self-compassion is a whole branch of psychology in itself. So that combined with breath work can really promote that lasting transformation and cultivate self-acceptance. So in just a bit, we're going to move into some breath work, and then I'll take you through the foundation of what the Trauma-Informed Breathwork Facilitator Certificate Program consists of and its logistics. We'll then wrap with some time for Q&A. I have planned for the session to be about an hour, but if time allows and questions arise, I want to give you that opportunity. So if you need to log off right at 8, I completely understand, but if we go off, that's fine too. And those that I see on Facebook, like I said, if you want to pop over onto Zoom so you can see the slides live, go ahead and do that too. It's linked in the chat there. So for those of you who don't know me or my story, I'm Tiffany Berger. I am the founder of Breathwork 614. And prior to launching Breathwork 614, about 5 years ago now, I began my professional career as an elementary school teacher. Eventually, my resting space came to be overwhelmed and anxiety, which led to burnout. Breathwork found me during the pandemic. I was experiencing incessant thoughts and I really just lacked joy. I was interacting with weekly migraines that were debilitating. And honestly, I really thought God had forgotten about me. And then I came across an article in the 614 magazine, which is a local magazine that we have here in Columbus. And in the magazine, a woman was detailing her breathwork certification business, or her breathwork business, rather. And I was so intrigued. And I thought, you know what? This is something I need to dig deeper. I really need to know more. So I got a hold of her. We scheduled a meeting through Zoom because this was during the pandemic time. And I just asked her all of my questions. What is your business like? Is this sustainable? How are you working with clients? Is this virtual? Is this in person? And after hearing from her, I got connected very quickly with her mentor named Juliana Erickson. Upon meeting Juliana and having a few breathwork sessions with her, I realized how much not only I needed this, but the world needed this. The world needed to know that there's so much healing and transformation that can happen just through connection with your breath. So I quickly fast tracked myself and started training with Juliana, who comes from the lineage of Leonard Orr. He is the modern day breathworker here in the States. So he was one of the modern day breathworkers that brought this modality over. And that was in the 60s. And you'll learn all about the history and the timeline and certification. But since then, I have had a very successful business model and have not only reached students, but also adults all the way to senior citizens. I work with corporate well-being and as well with teachers and those that are in education. So when one of my students asked me, or one of my clients rather, asked me if I would be willing to teach her everything I knew, I said, yes, absolutely. So we piloted a program, and then I submitted that to state board, and here we are. Now I have two state board approved certificate programs, one for trauma-informed breathwork facilitator. That's what I'm enrolling for tonight, and then one for breathworker life coach. And I won't spend too much time on the breathworker life coach, but just so you know, the difference of those is breathworker life coach is for those who want to create a whole sustainable business around life coaching, wants to understand the birth script and imprints and programs and conditionings that we engage with early on in life, and how that really takes over and can prevent us from experiencing the life that we desire. So, but tonight is about trauma-informed breathwork facilitator. So, uh, tonight I am so excited because not only do we get to be in this powerful role, guiding others to releasing trauma, to transforming their relationship with stress, but we get to create a ripple effect of well-being in our communities. And I believe that everyone deserves to feel well and to thrive. And in fact, it's our birthright. We call it well-being for a reason. Um, so I'm going to give it over to my participants here. And so it looks like, Joe, you've joined tonight. So do you mind just sharing a little bit about yourself? I know that you've tried breath work, but this is a recording, so other people will hear this as well. But if you want to share what breath work was like for you when you tried it, and then what got you interested in certification, and then even share maybe about the community you serve and how you're kind of piece imparting breath work into the community you serve. So a tall order for you.
Okay, so I'm Joe Matessa, and I am the owner and founder of Brain Tune Columbus, and we do microcurrent neurofeedback, which is a brain optimization therapy that starts with the central nervous system and kind of heals from the inside out. And I was introduced to breath work through one of my clients who had come to me, and after their first session had been completely transformed. And as we continued to progress through their treatment program, they indicated that they had also been doing breathwork with Breathwork 614. And she attributed her transformation and her success to both modalities. And so as I started digging deeper into what breathworks was, like Tiffany had done, like I need to know more about this. I need to know what it does, how it does it, why. And I realized that it was just a, a perfect complement to what I was doing to help my clients heal. And so I participated in your class and I realized that this is something I needed to be doing going forward.
Yes, thank you. And it's wonderful because you're here in the 614 community, so we get to continue to expand upon that ripple effect of well-being. So thank you, Joe. We did have some other friends that said that they were going to join tonight. So we're just going to keep going though. And like I said, if they need to come in and catch the replay, they will have that. So I thank you, Joe, for sharing a little bit about yourself and how you plan to incorporate certification into your professional life. And it'll bleed into your personal life too. So this is an embodied program, meaning that what I teach you, what I coach you upon, you're going to begin using in your own life so that you can hold space for your community, for those that you're serving in session. So let's go ahead and not waste any time and let's get connected with our breath. As I did mention at the start, we're going to begin with just a free little mini session in breath work. And to do that, we're going to start with conscious breathing. It is the foundation of your breath work practice. So the majority of all breath work techniques, they will incorporate this pattern. This breathing pattern can be used to guide you in navigating current emotions or energy in motion. So emotions are energy in motion, but then we will later build on this breathwork technique so that your breath can gently support you in releasing any stored emotions, stored trauma, or stored stress, excuse me, that you are either consciously or unconsciously holding on to. And that's why breathwork is so powerful. Um, so there is a difference between automatic breathing and conscious breathing. I know that when I started this and I was one of the pioneers sharing breathwork with our community, I got that question a lot. I breathe all the time. What are you talking about? What's breath work? Yeah, you do, but you're automatically breathing, and that does not yield the benefits to conscious breathing. And conscious just means breathing with awareness, breathing with attention or attention and intention, both of those. And when we do consciously breathe, we receive benefits such as lowering our heart rate, it lowers our blood pressure, it cleanses. Breathwork releases 70% of toxins. It works to regulate your nervous system, thus regulating your emotions. Uh, Conscious breathing and breath work boost your metabolism. It sparks creativity and it can improve your self relationship and really encourage a safety and a trust in life. And that is one of the most rewarding pieces of my job is that I get to guide others not only in coming home to themselves through connecting with their breath, but to embracing and enhancing their self relationship, to experiencing self acceptance. So right now, I welcome you just to maybe stare at a fixed point in your room, or you can close your eyes and just observe your breath. Don't even start consciously breathing if you know how to do that. Just observe how you're breathing right here automatically in this moment. So our body, as I was saying, our body, it holds unprocessed and unmetabolized emotions. And this imprint can be observed in the way your breath is flowing throughout your body. It holds valuable information about your past and what's asking to be healed. And we call this somatic wisdom. So right now, just notice, where is your breath feeling restricted? And as you notice, I just invite you to do so without judgment. This is just an observation. And I invite you to observe, where is your breath freely flowing? Notice where there's no restriction. Points of constriction can indicate where emotional pain is being held in the body. And you'll learn this in certification. It can clue you in on what's asking to be healed. Now, what would happen if you direct your breath to the places in your body that feel tight or that feel restricted. Maybe on the inhale, you envision your breath touching certain parts of your body that feel restricted. Can you send your breath there? That's it. Keep expanding. Okay, so now we're going to add on. I'm going to invite you to engage in conscious breathing. On your next inhale through your nose, I invite you to allow your belly to get really full, really big with breath. Might even help to place a hand slightly above your belly button so that when you inhale, you feel your belly press against your hand. Good. After you take your next inhale with your belly expanding, can you draw that breath up into your chest? This is called a diaphragmatic breath. Some people call it a belly breath or deep breathing. And unless we had a traumatic birth, this is how we were designed to breathe, to expand the diaphragm first and bring the breath up into the chest. Now, this might feel foreign to you or, just different or a little uncomfortable, but it doesn't mean that it's not safe. Sometimes our nervous system will register different as unsafe, and that's not necessarily true. It's just unfamiliar. So stick with it, stay with yourself. Even right now, you're learning how to be an emotional support to yourself. We've already self-celebrated. Now we're connecting with our breath. We're looking internally. And if it feels right to you, you could even place a hand on your chest so that first you feel that belly expand with breath at the start of your inhale, and then you draw that breath up into the chest. Good. As you exhale, see if you can draw the chest down first and release the belly last. It becomes a four-part breath. Part one, belly expands. Part two, chest expands. Part three, chest falls. Or belly releases last. That's it. Keep going. This is conscious breathing. You're bringing your attention to your breath and you're breathing in a very intentional way. You might notice that your breath becomes a little bit louder when you breathe like this. Now, as you continue breathing, I want you to know that breath work is a self-consent practice, meaning that you engaging with your breath in this way are going to honor your body. You're going to respond to your body's cues. So if there's anything that feels that hurts, that's painful, you'll want to adjust your breathing. You could always return back to your automatic breathing. And in fact, as you grow a breathwork practice, especially throughout certification, you're going to be strengthening respiratory muscles that you might not have ever engaged with before, or it's been a really long time. I know that when I started breath work, my lats down my back just felt like they were vibrating because I had a different posture. I was breathing very deeply like this. So you are 3D, meaning that you're going to feel your lungs and the expansion that the inhale can bring in your back. If it feels right to you, I invite you to go ahead and place one or both hands along your side body or your mid back and go ahead and notice what it feels like as you take that conscious breath in. And then as you exhale, notice what happens to your back. Try a few more of those. Good. As you inhale, I can even see it. As you inhale, you're getting expansive. Your shoulders are rising. You're expanding outwards. There's a lot of width. And as you exhale, you're releasing, you're contracting, you're letting go. The breath is designed as that. Our inhale is our receiving, our expansive, our taking in. Our exhale is our release, our letting go. You are welcome to place your hands on any one of those touch points I've already guided you in, or if it feels right to you, go ahead and let your hands just rest alongside of you. Let your arms and your hands be at ease. Let your shoulders just fall down your back. If you think about it, when you're stressed or you're experiencing trauma or you're in a trauma loop, your breath is restricted, it's tight, and it's shallow. Conscious breathing is the exact opposite of that. It's full, it's deep. Breath is energy. So here you're engaging with energy and combining it with your energy to go ahead and metabolize and to release that which your body is holding on to. In certification, you'll learn how we pair a thought pattern, a creative thought pattern, or even an affirmation with breath work to enhance the creation and the strengthening of neural pathways. If you've been to any of my sessions before, you've heard that. I will typically begin with I breathe freely and fully. From there, we add on, we change it to whatever's occurring in our clients' lives or in our lives so that we can take active steps towards healing, towards creating and receiving the reality we desire. Good. As you continue consciously breathing, you're going to hear me turn on some music. I just invite you to stay partnered with your breath. It's about as loud as the music will get on my end. But if you want it to be louder, by all means, go ahead and turn up your volume. So here, as you consciously breathe, we're going to begin adding layers. Just like a physical workout, you add layers of intensity the more you engage with the practice. The same happens with breath work. In breath work, we involve or engage with a word called titration. Titration can be summed up as little baby steps so that we aren't overwhelming your capacity, your nervous system's capacity. Once again, breathwork is a self-consent practice. So if any of these steps or offers I give you tonight don't feel right for you, then please back down, return back to either conscious breathing or automatic breathing. On your next exhale, what would it feel like to release the breath out through your mouth? And if you want to peek at me to see what that looks like, you're certainly welcome to. I'm going to inhale through my nostrils and exhale through my mouth. So it's different than a workout breath. We're not pursing our lips. There are techniques that you'll learn to do that, and you'll learn why, such as to release anxiety. But for this technique, we want to invite ease in. We want gravity to take over, and we be in partnership with receiving that support. As you just exhale, let that jaw be heavy. Exhale, releasing the breath out through the mouth. You might even notice that a sound begins to be paired with this. The sound is often an HA sound. It's going to sound like, don't force it though. If you're not making that HA sound, don't worry about trying to get it right. More important that you continue to bring breath into belly first and then chest, and then exhaling and let your chest fall and your belly release. Right now, you're taking steps towards conscious, connected breathing. We're working our way there. And what that conscious, connected breathing pattern does is it just allows for you to metabolize emotions you've held on to from the past. This breathing pattern, it's going to guide you in rewiring your nervous system and changing your trajectory in your life, allowing you to establish new supportive beliefs, thoughts, and behaviors. When we conscious, connected breathe, this is where integration occurs. Good. As you inhale through the nose, what would it be like to leave your mouth open, releasing the jaw, still engaging with some ease? So mouth stays open, but you inhale through your nostrils, and then you exhale and release out your mouth. So I've guided your breath in a very specific way to dip into parasympathetic, to bring some regulation into your body, into your nervous system. I'm now starting to guide you towards sympathetic. You might think, why? Why does she want me activated? This is a relaxing practice. Well, it's that activation in your body that can remind it of maybe a similar experience you've had when being previously activated or previously being in a sympathetic state. It's within that state that you get to metabolize and bring an emotion to completion. So when you are ready, I invite you to begin inhaling through your mouth. You will also exhale through your mouth. And then you will continue. Next breath comes in through your mouth, and it releases out through your mouth. As you inhale and exhale through your mouth, the pattern still has not changed. You're still bringing expansion into the diaphragm first, up into the chest, and then as you exhale, you're still releasing from the chest first, and then the belly last. Notice how the breath is moving you. You might begin to notice that there's maybe a roller coaster or a rhythm-like movement happening in your torso as you inhale and exhale. Some people say that their breath feels circular. You might even notice you begin to rock, sway, or move. This is the breath. Shows you how strong your respiratory muscles are. They're being engaged with, they're working. And what will happen is with clients and with yourself, you'll breathe here for about 45 minutes to an hour. You will work up your respiratory stamina to breathe that long. Within that time frame, you're giving your nervous system an opportunity to recall anything it's holding on to that has not been brought to completion, any emotional experience. Tonight, you're not going to experience that. We're not going to breathe for that long. This is just a taste, but know that that's to come in certification. Now, from here, we can continue ramping you up, for lack of better words, increasing your capacity to interact with your sympathetic nervous system by increasing your pace, your speed. I'm not going to introduce you to that tonight. I'm not going to take you there because for many of you, you're just now growing a practice with breathwork. But since you're interested in certification, I do want you to be informed that there's a whole nother layer to this. Right now, I just invite you to count your breath. Just notice how many seconds it's taking you to inhale and how many seconds it's taking you to exhale. So the pace you will get to and you'll want to guide your clients in is about 2 to 3 seconds, a 2 to 3 second inhale and a 2 to 3 second exhale. And as you and your clients grow that respiratory strength and stamina, you'll be able to do that. You'll be able to hit all parts of your torso, the diaphragm and the chest, and then exhale from chest to belly and really reach that pace, that quickened pace. Throughout certification, you'll learn how pace can encourage navigation of emotions, past and present. And then you'll learn how technique can also support navigation or processing of emotions in current real time or ones that have been held onto from the past. epigenetics, through psychoneuroimmunology. There's plenty of research that shows when we hold on to those emotions, it affects our well-being. We experience dis-ease, which leads to disease. So I just invite you to notice right now how this breathing pattern is feeling within you. Notice any sensations you might experience. There are sensations that come along with breath work. Tingles and vibrations can occur. Your stomach might begin to rumble as we're engaging with the metabolism, the diaphragm there. You might feel lightheaded and dizzy. We are engaging with your energy. Breath is energy, and then you are an energetic system yourself. The nervous system is an energetic system. So when we engage with energy or interact with it in this way, we might feel a little lightheaded or dizzy, just a little bit different in our bodies. You might also have the urge to use the restroom because, as I mentioned, breathwork is cleansing. You're releasing 70% of toxins. So just as I worked your breath, I facilitated your breath into different levels of intensity, we're going to start to work our way down towards the cool down. And we're going to work our way back down in the same way we worked our way up. So when you are ready, I invite you to transition to breathing in through your nostrils and out through your mouth. Check in on your pattern. Ensure that when you inhale through your nostrils, that diaphragm is expanding at the start of the inhale, and you're bringing it up into your chest next. And then follow your exhale down your torso, releasing the chest first, your stomach last. Here, I'm facilitating your breath to embrace a parasympathetic experience. Be exciting you, putting you back in a rest and digest state. There are many times I suggest clients who are wanting to lose weight to slow their mealtime down by taking a few conscious breaths or exhaling out through their mouth. They're going to slow their body down. Not going to release adrenaline. It's not going to release cortisol. No one wants that in their body, let alone when they're eating. There's so many breathwork hacks to increase our experience of well-being. Good. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Welcome to stay here for 1 or 2 more breath cycles. A cycle is an inhale and an exhale. And then when you feel complete, go ahead and return back to nostril breathing, inhaling and exhaling through your nose. I invite you to take a little data on yourself, on your breath. Notice what it feels like to breathe in this pattern. Checking in to ensure you're still bringing breath into the diaphragm first, then the chest next. And that you're still exhaling from the chest and releasing the stomach last. Always end, at least with Breathwork 614, whether you're a client or you're a student, we will always end with balancing breath. And that is very intentional because you're going to bring balance to both portions of your nervous system with this technique. So we're going to balance parasympathetic and sympathetic. And that is so that we experience calm aliveness. If you look at the media and people that maybe don't have a trauma-informed lens, they'll say, parasympathetic, you need to be in parasympathetic all the time. Well, that's not true. We actually want balance between both. And balancing breath can support you in that. So to do so, you're going to inhale through your nose for 4 to 6 seconds. You can choose the pace. You can try 4, 5, and 6. But whatever you inhale, whatever pace, you're going to exhale at that pace too. So if you're inhaling for 4, please exhale for 4. You inhale for 5, you're going to exhale for 5. And then finally, if you choose 6, you want to exhale for 6. So go ahead and explore balancing breath right now to bring balance to both portions of your nervous system. Beautiful. Counting, tracking your breath up and down your torso on every inhale and exhale. Find the pace that feels best to your body. I want you to stay at that pace. You want to ensure that you're not creating any tension. Let's say you're trying to breathe into 6 seconds and it's creating tension. You feel yourself tightening in your upper chest. 6 isn't for you. Try 5. Maybe 4 doesn't feel long enough. Maybe you want to jump to 5, you want to jump to 6. But the pace that's best for you doesn't create tension. It doesn't create any destructive feelings, doesn't cause you to feel anxious. It feels very fluid, very gentle. And so breath work, our breath is so amazing because it's one of the only autonomic functions of our body that we can also control. This is why we can really work our portions of our nervous system with this balancing breath here. So you're going to take just a few more breath cycles in this balancing breath. Then when you're ready, I invite you to begin observing what your experience was like or what you received from breath work. Begin to observe your physical state. So go ahead and observe your body. Notice any sensations it's experiencing. Maybe even think back to how your body was feeling before you began your session tonight, and then notice how it's feeling now. Notice where your breath is touching now in your body as opposed to where it was touching when you were automatically breathing. And then I invite you to explore your emotional state of being. Notice what emotions you're interacting with right now. Breath work pours into our physical, our emotional, our mental, and our spiritual. Once you've had a chance to observe your emotional state of being, I invite you to explore your mental, your thoughts. So just notice, where are your thoughts now that you've given time to intentional stillness and connected with your breath in such an intentional way? A lot of times my clients will say, wow, I actually was able to stop thinking or turn my brain off during breath work. And while that's beautiful, also know that Not everybody will. Your brain was designed to involuntarily create thought after thought after thought. And so when we come to these stillness practices, sometimes it can cause our nervous system to freak out. I don't want to freak out. I don't want to stop. I don't want to slow. Because if I do, then I have to face what's occurring, what's going on. You'll learn in certification how to support clients that experience that so that they can grow a love for breath work and prioritizing their well-being. And then lastly, I just invite you to explore your spiritual state of being. And I just invite you to connect with that word in the way that's most meaningful to you. And once you've had time to do so, when you are ready, I welcome you to re-enter your day with this new presence that you have with yourself and with your breath. And I'll actually give you a minute or two if you want to journal any of your experience, or if a question came up throughout that experiential, go ahead and write that down. I'll just give you a few minutes there. Okay. So if you'd be so willing to share, um, maybe what that experience was like for you, or how you entered tonight's session and how you're feeling now, this would be the time and space. You're welcome to unmute yourself to share, or put it into the chat, whatever feels most comfortable for you. Or if you have a question at this time, I can answer that as well.
So I just came off mute.
Okay.
So it was incredibly relaxing and introspective. And I think now that I've been through the experience, I would not be sitting in my work chair at my desk to do it next time. And I would find myself a nice, comfortable place on the floor
Mhm.
and have the laptop there in front of me and turn out the lights and just create that space that would further support the experience.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about in certification how environment, we can play with environment to enhance that experience, right? Um, how could breathing where you were, where you breathe tonight, how could that be an embodiment of navigating daily stress in life? Like it doesn't, it sounds like you weren't maybe as comfortable as you desire to be. And isn't that stress?
Yes. And I, much like the community class that I took, where occasionally I would hear cars honking on the outside. And I'm now, as I'm doing it here at home, hearing someone unloading the dishwasher and hearing clanging of dishes.
Yeah.
I anticipate that over time, I would get to a point where I can shut that out and take that noise that I'm hearing and find peace during that noise.
Absolutely. One of the most, there's so much goodness with breath work, but one of the most powerful um, tools that we gain is that when things go on around us in that external stimuli, we can partner with our breath to navigate it. We really do begin to break the ties of emotional codependency, meaning that I have to feel like whatever's going on around me. And that's empowering when we can choose our feeling and we can stay with that feeling. So thank you for sharing that. So the remainder of our portion tonight, I'm going to share with you some pillars that Breathwork 614 has been built upon, the pillars of these certification programs. So Breathwork 614 offers trauma-informed, science-backed, and spiritually grounded approaches to breathwork that goes far beyond technique. I foster deep transformation by integrating nervous system education based upon understanding, recognizing, and responding to the effects of trauma. Breathwork 614's approach also includes subconscious healing, positive psychology, and compassionate coaching. And hopefully you've begun to feel some of those elements already in tonight's session. So these 5 pillars, the first of the 5 pillars is presence and space holding. So before a single breath is taken, presence must be established. And presence is established through attunement. You will learn how to regulate your own nervous system, embody calm, and create a grounded energetic field that fosters safety and transformation. Your clients will feel your energy before you even speak. And actually, they already do. But after this training program, um, your nervous system will offer co regulation to your clients and the community you serve. So, as I mentioned, you'll master the art of attunement, tuning into subtle cues, reading body language, intentionally mirroring, and maintaining non judgmental awareness. You will explore how your energy influences every room you enter and how true facilitation begins with your ability to be fully present. Next, I have awareness of trauma and safety. So this pillar is built upon being trauma informed, being more than a credential. It's truly a way of living. This is that embodiment piece. So I'm sure you've heard of the saying that you can only take someone as far as you've gone yourself. Well, it is true. Um, I have so many clients that share with me they hit a plateau with their therapist, or maybe their energy healer or nervous system body worker, and that's because their hands, that healer, that therapist, their hands aren't deep in their own internal work. So you're going to learn how to honor the complexity of trauma with sensitivity, with humility, and unwavering respect as you have opportunity to heal and transform your own nervous system with breath. So this pillar really teaches you how to recognize trauma responses, to respond with care, and co-create consent-based relationships that are rooted in trust. You'll learn to pace sessions with responsiveness rather than reactivity, and ensuring that your client's nervous systems feel seen, feel heard, and safe to dive deeper. There is an essential sequence to healing trauma, and safety is the start of that. Many therapists don't know that. They don't have that trauma informed approach. But a body that feels safe, a nervous system that feels safe, will open up. Next slide here, we have understanding the nervous system. So to hold others through transformation, you must understand the architecture of their internal world. You will learn about the autonomic nervous system, polyvagal theory, and how stress, trauma, and survival adaptations, they shape our behavior and our breath, such as our breath print that I had shared earlier. So we'll explore the emotional set point, stress responses, and tools to rewire the nervous system for balance, regulation, and resilience. So there is an essential sequence, as I said, to healing trauma so that that body can open up to feel safe and to move through the rest of the sequence and then experience true lasting transformation. I like to say that this is where science meets soul. You've got to have both. And my next pillar here, you're going to see the science of breath work. So, breath work is no longer woo. It's been around. I am scratching that. It is no longer woo. You will learn the biology, the physiology, and the deep transformative work that is involved in breath work. You're going to learn the Bohr effect. We're going to talk about gamma waves, neurotransmitters, and hormonal responses because they all play a role in our healing. They're affected when trauma is experienced in the body. Therefore, we need to engage with them when healing as well. We'll explore how breath affects the immune system, the emotional memory, and the cellular regeneration, and why it's one of the most important tools for long-term well-being and personal development work. And then lastly, here we have responsibility and facilitation. So as you can see, breathwork facilitation, it is sacred work. You're going to learn how to hold space for the full spectrum of the human experience, all the emotions, the grief, the rage, the joy, the fear, with grounded integrity and empathy. Facilitators gain so much compassion. I call it compassionate understanding during training and throughout this work. This pillar really prepares you to navigate boundaries, dual relationships, ethical dilemmas, and moments of emotional activation with professionalism and grace, or as I like to say, emotional poise. And it's so cool to see that transfer over into your personal life, especially if you have children in the home, because we always need a little bit of emotional poise as parents. So you'll be guided in refining your listening, mirroring, and coaching techniques, and in honoring your role as a bridge between insight and embodiment. Okay. And so what truly sets Breathwork 614 apart from other breathwork businesses and certification programs is by the end of the certification, you're going to feel confidently leading trauma-informed breathwork, whether that's in a one-on-one setting or a group setting. You're going to understand the nervous system states and how to support regulation through use of breath. You'll learn safe pacing, emotional integration, and space holding, and you will be actively engaged in the practice of embodiment and breath coaching and client-centered support. So the certification program, as you can see, it's more than just gaining knowledge. It is deep rooted with your nervous system in mind so that you can offer that co-regulation to the community you serve. Okay, it says embodied transformation. So now I just want to orient you to a few things on the website. And Joe, I feel like you might already know this, but since I'm recording it, I want to go ahead and share. The best place to get questions answered is my website here. And you can go to breathwork614.com. And then on the right-hand side, I have certificate programs. And this, I'm currently enrolling for trauma-informed breathwork practitioners. So you would just click on that. And here on this page, as you scroll down, it has some valuable information. One, it talks about what you'll be able to do with a certificate, as I just mentioned here in the slides, but it also lists the requirements for certification. So if you're curious what's required of you, that's spelled out for you. And then further scrolling down, you're going to come to the course schedule. So here you'll see a calendar that displays September 2026. Our class first meets on September 11th. That's a Friday. We meet on Fridays from 6 to 8:30 virtually through Zoom. And then on Saturday and Sunday, so here in September the 12th and 13th, we meet in person from 8 to 5:30. And that's at Brickhouse Blue. If you're curious what we're going to be learning on these days, you can just click on the date and then the class syllabus pops up. Okay, so you can do that for each of the classes, and then you can just switch the month to October, once again, to click on the 16th when we meet, 17th, 18th, so on and so forth. So this certification is 3 months long, and if you continue scrolling down, you're going to see each weekend, the title of each weekend, what you're learning, and the dates and the corresponding times for those. Continuing to further scroll, you'll notice tuition. The price of this program is $2,250, and it's estimated that you would spend about $75 in books and manuals. Everything that I suggest or that is required of reading can be found on Amazon, fairly cheap. That was actually an overestimate, but still, I want you to know that. There is the registration fee of $75. You can see that there as well. The school that I'm accredited with, Global Academy for Energetic Education. Lucy, the owner, is wonderful. There are tons of pricing programs, plans for you. You can pretty much create any pricing plan that supports your budget. And a lot of times students will begin paying now before class even starts, so that either they're done paying before class ends or they're done definitely by the end. So that's always very beneficial. The learning platform that we use is called Kajabi. Kajabi is very user-friendly. All the slides from presentations will be on there. All the self-study will be on Kajabi. You can even message me on there or through email or text, whatever is best for you. But continuing to look at the website here, looking down, you'll see personal sessions. So there is a fee of $50 there that you would be expected to spend. And what that is those are trades. So in this certification program, I encourage you to meet with another certified breath worker, either from Breathwork 614's community or one of your choice. But from my community, I have a little bit more control of what you pay them. And so I'm suggesting an energy exchange, a money exchange of $25. So you would give them $25 for a 1 hour breathwork session with them. And so therefore you're expected to do 2 of those. That's where the $50 comes in. Next, you're going to see additional supplies and materials. That's estimated to be at about $70. A lot of times clients or students don't even spend this because they already have the items that are accounted for here, such as yoga mats, bolsters, blankets. Maybe you want to add oils to your experience diffusers, things like that. And then finally, this certification program, the clock study hours, which does include home study, is total to be 88.5 hours. Okay. Last thing I want to show you on the website here, if you scroll all the way up and we go back to certificate programs, I just click on it and then I scroll all the way down, you're going to come to the FAQ page. Here you can get many of your questions answered, specifically about certificate programs, what to expect. So just clicking on these, and then you would just click the arrow to reveal the answer to you, what payment registration looks like, logistics and scheduling, and then professional development as well. Okay. So now I know we're at time. As I mentioned, we might go over a little bit, but this is your time. What questions can I answer? What's come up or has arose for you?
Nothing here.
Nothing here. I like it. Okay, thank you. Well, this concludes our time together. So I really thank you for showing up here tonight. Those that want to learn my body of work and really spread this to your communities, I don't take this lightly. I am filled with gratitude. So thank you so much for your participation, for your interest. If any questions come up in the meantime, you can shoot me an email at breathelove@breathwork614.com. So thank you. Thank you for your participation, Joe.